Are you working harder than ever, but your business just feels, well, stuck? It is an incredibly common feeling for entrepreneurs, I promise you. But what if there was a proven system to get you unstuck and put you firmly back in the driver's seat? Well, let's break it down.
So let's just be real for a second. Does any of this sound familiar? You are constantly dealing with the exact same people issues over and over again. Your profit, it just isn't where you know it should be. Growth has totally stalled, and every new idea feels like you're just spinning your wheels. It feels like you're supposed to be running the business, but deep down, the business is running you. Hey, you are not alone in this. That feeling is so universal for entrepreneurs that it actually has a name. It's called hitting the ceiling. Think of it like this invisible barrier that pretty much every growing company slams into at some point. And yeah, it's frustrating, for sure. But the most important thing to know is that it's normal. And even better, you absolutely can break through it.
And here is our roadmap for how we're going to do that. We'll start with that ceiling, then I'll introduce you to the framework designed to smash right through it. After that, we'll dive deep into its 6 core components: vision and people, then data and issues, and finally process and traction. To wrap it all up, we'll see how this all comes together in what's called your 90-day world. So let's get into it.
So look, the solution we're going to talk about isn't some magic bullet or a quick fix. It's a really comprehensive system, and it's designed to strengthen every single part of your company. It's called the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or just EOS for short.
Now, don't let a name like operating system scare you off. This isn't some dense, complicated theory you need a PhD to understand. The best way to think about it is as a practical way of life for your business. It's really just a set of simple, real-world tools that bring clarity, focus, and discipline, strengthening your entire business from the roots up.
And the whole system, it's built on these 6 key components. You've got vision, people, data, issues, process, and traction. The idea is when you get all 6 of these strong, your business just becomes stronger, more profitable, and honestly, a whole lot more fun to run. Let's tackle the first 2.
We're going to start with the human element, because let's face it, no business on earth succeeds without it. This part is all about making sure every single person knows exactly where you're going, and that you have the absolute best people on the bus with you to get there.
Now, strengthening your vision, this is not about writing some fluffy mission statement that you just hang on a wall and forget about. No, it's about answering 8 simple questions to get so ridiculously clear on your direction that every single person in your company is rowing in perfect, beautiful sync.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't just theory. Check this out. One company grew their revenue by 50% and their profits exponentially more, just by getting these disciplines in place. When everyone shares that same clear vision, the results, they're not just noticeable, they are totally transformative.
Now, the people component, it boils down to this brilliantly simple idea: having the right people in the right seats. Right people? Those are the folks who just naturally fit your company's core values. And right seats? Well, that means they actually get their job, they want their job, and they have the capacity to do it really well. When you get both of those right, it's pure magic.
Okay, so you've got the right people, and they're all rowing towards the right vision. Great. Now you need to manage the business objectively, and that means running on cold, hard facts, on data, not on egos or gut feelings or subjective opinions.
The data component just strips away all the drama. You create a simple, weekly scorecard. We're talking just 5 to 15 key numbers that give you an absolute pulse on the business. There's no hiding. There's no more, well, I think things are going pretty well. You just know. And that clarity, it lets you predict problems before they even happen.
So what do you do when the data points to a problem? You solve it. For good. The issues component gives you this super simple track to follow. Identify, discuss, solve. You just list out every single issue, you prioritize the most important ones, you discuss the real root cause, and then you create a concrete action item. This is how you build a culture where problems actually get solved, not just talked about. So we've got our vision, our people, our data, and a way to solve issues. Now, these last 2 components, this is where the rubber really meets the road. This is all about creating consistency and actually executing on that vision. This anecdote just perfectly captures why so many of us resist creating processes. The story goes, a man sees a dog whimpering on a porch. He asks the owner why, and the owner says, "Oh, he's sitting on a nail." The man is confused and asks, "Well, why doesn't he just move?" And the owner says, "I guess it doesn't hurt enough yet." Businesses do this all the time. We live with the pain because fixing the actual process feels like too much work.
The process component, it forces you to get off that nail. Now, this is not about creating some huge bureaucratic manual that no one ever reads. It's about simplifying and documenting your 6 to 10 core processes, defining your way of doing business. That's what creates the consistency you absolutely need to scale.
And that brings us to the final, and you could argue the most important component of all, traction. Why? Because vision without traction is just hallucination. This component brings your big, lofty vision right down to earth by focusing the entire company on just 3 to 7 massive priorities for the next 90 days. And these priorities, they're called rocks. And this whole concept of rocks is what leads to the ultimate payoff of the entire system. It completely transforms how you operate by creating what is known as your 90-day world.
Everything, and I mean everything, comes down to this one number: 90. 90 days is the magic time frame. You see, it's long enough to actually achieve something significant, but it's short enough to maintain this incredible, intense focus. Operating in a 90-day world, it creates this unstoppable momentum.
And here's the really crucial insight, the big paradox of it all. Less is more. Most companies, they try to focus on 27 different things at once, and they end up achieving almost nothing. But in a 90-day world, you focus on just a handful of rocks, and you learn to say no to everything else. The amazing thing is, by doing less, you accomplish far, far more. So, I'm going to leave you with this to think about. If you could only focus on 3 things for the next 90 days, just 3, what are the rocks that will completely change the entire game for your business? Answering that one simple question, that's your first step to finally gaining traction.